What's going on, guys, and welcome to my Descendant build series for the First Descendant. Today we're going over my builds for Kyle.
With my strength, I will pull everything towards me, even the final victory.
Kyle's kit is quite unique and can be a lot of fun. He uses magnetism and his thrusters to control the battlefield. He can even fly around and drop bombs from above. Despite his clearly electric-looking abilities, he's a non-attribute descendant that controls electromagnetism. His passive ability is called Experienced Technician, which increases his custom resource, magnetic force, proportionate to his maximum shield. When his shield is completely consumed, he gains increased shield recovery as well as increased magnetic force generation. Kyle's first ability, Repulsion Dash, charges him forward and shoulder checks enemies. This ability has 3 stacks and deals damage while also inflicting knockback. Using this skill generates magnetic force proportionate to his max shields and gains a 150% bonus to defense. His second ability is called Magnetic Bulwark. This creates a barrier in front of Kyle that moves along with you and blocks ranged attacks. It will continuously drain magnetic force while active. However, it will also gain additional magnetic force for each ranged attack it blocks. This barrier's health is based on Kyle's max shields. Note, as you can see here, while the shield is up, you cannot shoot your weapons or use any other skills. So this is merely a defensive wall. Kyle's third ability, Magnetic Spurt, covers his body in a magnetic aura of sorts. When hit while this ability is active, it will consume magnetic force instead of your shields or HP. You can prolong this effect by dashing or using your barrier to keep your magnetic force high. This allows you to be semi-invulnerable for a decent amount of time. Once the ability has run its course or its HP has been depleted, it will send out a massive 360-degree shockwave that does a pretty good amount of damage. You can also send out the pulse early by simply pressing the skill button a second time. This ability does not do extra damage by allowing it to charge up, so if you're mobbing, feel free to just pulse it, and if you're tanking, then feel free to let it stay on for the defense bonuses. Note that this shockwave also restores your shields and the shields of your allies as well each time the pulse goes off. His fourth ability is a lot of fun to use. It's called Superconductivity Thrusters. He flies up into the sky and then jets forward. You can turn him, you can aim him, and then you can slam the ground, causing a massive amount of damage. It can also be used to slam straight into the Colossi space or take out ships up in the sky. The damage for this is increased even further based on how much magnetic force is consumed along your path. For transmods, there's only really 2 worth using: Collision Instinct and Superconductive Bombing, though that one is very situational. His first build uses Collision Instinct, which alters his first. This ability itself does exactly the same thing, however now it stuns enemies instead of giving him the defense buff. This build is all about damage and is fantastic for mobbing. The mods in this build are Collision Instinct, Spear and Shield, Multi-Talented, Focus on Non-Attribute, Skill Expansion, Increased HP, Nimble Fingers, Non-Attribute Amplification, Tech Amplification, MP Conversion, and Focus on Tech. His second build also uses Collision Instinct, but this one's more of a mixed build. It gives him more survivability and is great for void erosions and most Colossi fights. The mods for this build are Collision Instinct, Skill Expansion, HP Conversion Shield, Focus on Non-Attribute, Amplification Control, Increased Shield, Nimble Fingers, Maximize Conservation, Biosync Shield, Non-Attribute Amplification, and Dangerous Ambush. You can swap out Dangerous Ambush for Multi-Talented if you prefer, and you can also swap Collision Instinct out for Superconductive Bombing if you're running something in a large area. Superconductive bombing alters his fourth ability. Now instead of one massive blast, you fly around and essentially carpet bomb the area, dealing multiple smaller hits. You still get the ground slam at the end, but it does significantly less damage than the baseline ability. Both are viable options, but honestly, this ability does so much damage without the mod that it's really hard to give that up for me. Do what works best for you. Here's what I use for the arcade tuning. And you'll want to use the non-attribute cohesion mutant cell. For high-end bossing, you'll want to use this next build. It uses no transmod, and the build is amplification control, HP conversion shield, focus on non-attribute, biosync shield, increased HP, focus on dimension, nimble fingers, stim accelerant, MP conversion, and increased shield. This build is a beast all around, and you have almost no chance of dying. You can slam into Deathstalker without flinching and even stop his skulls with your barrier. Flying up and slamming Deathstalker in the face is just oh so satisfying. Or kneeling down to revive your teammate with a bunch of enemies beating on you and you're just like, what, bro, that tickles. Anyways, here is the arcade tuning for this build. And you will want to use the Tech Dimension Mutant Cell. Also, use this arcade tuning for the second build as well if you were using it for bossing. With Kyle, you will want to use the Tech Reactor. And for the external components, I use the Slayer set for mobbing and the Invader set for bossing. This is how I have my inversion reinforcement set up. For the weapons, I use the Secret Garden, the Malevolent, and the Hammer and Anvil. The Secret Garden is an absolute must because of its special ability. Highly recommend it. Plus, it's a pretty decent weapon all around. Now, Kyle is an absolute beast at mobbing and is a really good bosser. I have a lot of fun playing him and can't wait to see all the new changes that the trigger modules and the new tag systems bring in Season 3 when Season 3 drops next month. Check out my other Descendant build videos, and please feel free to ask any questions you may have about this build or any of my videos or about Kyle himself. And that's it for this video, guys. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Later.